and welcome to South Africa for round 4 of the 2022 Formula Virtual World Championship. My name is Bradley Doughton and I'm joined today by Harry Westwood,
Sani Bonani,
and Will Ingram.
Hello.
Today then the drivers tackle 50 laps of this 4.5 kilometre circuit, 16 turns winding their way left and right here at Kyalami in South Africa, as Nathaniel Powers for Downton, who won here last season. It's going to be far easier for one of them than the other to try and repeat that here today. Let's take a look how they line up then. It's Klaas van Snelheid on pole position, 4 different pole sitters from 4 races. Adrian Simon lines up alongside him on the front row. Matteo Zatici starts from 3rd, he's on the hard tyres, so Enrique Ruiz from 4th will be keen to get past him early doors. Starting together on the 3rd row are the 2 Phoenix cars. Will Taylor lines up ahead of his teammate Alar Kanga once again. Likewise, Kanga keen to get past Taylor because Taylor running on the hard tyre. James Vasquez and Jean Matson make it the 2 Ingrams together on row 4. Vasquez starting on the softs will be keen to make some overtakes early on. Likewise, will Brock Kidd starting from 9th as North Star and Kidd seek their first points of the season still. Giordano rounds out the top 10. Yukumi Takahashi lines up just outside it for Arrow in 11th. Hunter Ryan on 12th. We'll be hoping the soft tyre gives him the purchase off the line to get past the Japanese star. Stefan Klein, a much improved performance from the Austrian so far this weekend. First, he lines up 13th, just ahead of Nick Addison in the 2nd of the Arrow cars. Finn Schneider is one of 2 AMRs on the grid. They've both made it this weekend. Timo Kinnaman lines up alongside him on row 8. Thierry Zylander starts from 17th with Max Meyer alongside him on row 9 in the lead of the Lopez cars. Felix Brez totally outclassed by his teammate in qualifying. We're hoping the soft tyre can help him make his way through the field here in the race today, as Zolia starts alongside him in 20th at the expense of Johan Halverson, who failed to qualify. Sergio Alvarez goes from 21st, with Jules Barkley starting 22nd, and in the back we've got the teams who were excluded from qualifying. Lucas with Nathaniel Powers and Maximilian Thunstrom together on row 12, and at the back of the grid for the 2nd race in a row, Danilo Farini and Will Hoskins. So as we go down to the grid then, it's Klaas van Snelheid on pole position for the first time this season. Adrian Simon lines up alongside him on the front row. It's a very long hold then here in South Africa. We're still waiting for the first lights to come on. I don't think we've had the green flag at the back of the grid yet even. Well, there we go, there it is now then. So the lights, the sequence will start any second. And the lights go out and we're underway in South Africa then. It's a poor start from poleman Klaas van Snelheid. Adrian Simon passed and off the line like a rocket up into the lead. Van Snelheid as well, looking like he might lose 2nd to Enrique Ruiz. Ruiz up from 4th, and indeed he is. Ruiz around the outside and into 2nd place. Mathershaw are 1st and 2nd at turn 1 then. After starting 2nd and 4th, there's a brilliant effort away from the grid then. Further back, Zatici looks as though he got away poorly from the line as well. Kidd there, making up a position on Jean Matson, but it's Simon who leads, and he's a mile clear.
Oh no, Zylander, he's hit the wall there. He's got no front wing. Oh, these 2 going hammer and song here. That is Zolia and Kinnaman there. I think they've both fallen down. Oh no, just Kinnaman. Schneider's been making moves upwards, but yeah, that was, hopefully we get a replay of what happened to Zylander there, but a bit of a disaster start for one of the star performers of last time out.
Brilliant start for the Porsches though. Simon rocket off the line. I mean, unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it seemed as though it was Klaas's poor getaway from pole position, I think, that kind of hampered everyone else. It looked as though sort of Zatici and Taylor behind him had nowhere to go.
Yeah, you do sort of just find yourself a bit balked and a bit backed up if obviously the guy in front of you doesn't get away as well as you, especially at a tight track like this. You've just got to get out of it, and that can cost you dear in the opening lap situation, as it clearly has for some.
Absolutely, Phoenix have held on to their positions though. 5th and 6th still running. Vasquez has maintained his 7th as there. Then we've got one of the Westwoods coming under pressure from Franklin, and that is Barkley and Hoskins, but Barkley manages to hold position then, so Hoskins remains in 25th and essentially last, bar Zylander, who is I believe yet to make his way into the pits.
Yeah, although he may be, yeah, it does look like he's slowly trundling around, but yeah, obviously not great for the 2 Franklins starting on the back row of the grid, but also not great for Barkley. That Westwood looked like a bit of a handful, so Maybe some issues with tyre warm-up, but he's in for a long day. Oh, look at the sparks around that corner. That was amazing.
They're already starting to gap. Oh, we get a replay here.
There we go. He's just lost it on his own. Oh,
nice reverse.
I think he was going for the J-turn. Forgot the wall was in the way there. Because, Simon bags in the fastest lap. Just as you were saying there, Will. Yeah, the Matador's really pulling away in front there.
Yes, and Zatici's obviously the first man on the hard. And I wouldn't say he's holding up Taylor. I think he's also on the hard. Actually, yeah, Taylor's on the hard. So those two have a bit of a buff behind them, and then Kanga, Vasquez and Kidd all on softer tyres, especially Vasquez and Kidd both on the soft, will want to try and make a move, but, well, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, overtaking here can be at quite a premium, as it has been in the past. Very much a race dominated by strategy, so with this soft tyre gamble, that you've got to hope, well, they've got to hope that strategy is going to pay off for them, but they know they can do it, they know they can overtake, so we'll see what they've got. Let's see here then, so what other kind of movement we've got? Ryan has sort of done well to get himself just outside the top 10 here. Look at as well, actually, some decent progress already from the Lucases. Thunstrom already up a few places from his starting position as we follow, I believe that is Mayer in an off-board shot there. Is
that his home race?
Yes, yeah. I believe in the press it was mentioned this is about 20 minutes away from where he grew up, no?
Yes, they did. Yeah, that's what Dylan claimed, at least.
Yeah, well, whether that's true or not, Dylan could have picked him up from anywhere in South Africa and just told us it was near here. But,
he's not had the best start though, has he, Mayer? He qualified well ahead of Alvarez and is now behind him already.
Yeah, I just wonder if maybe he could have got caught up in that sort of bulk on that side of the track there that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, they're both on the hard, so it won't be through tyre strategy. It's a good start from Alvarez, I suppose, as well as a bad one from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, as I say, Max Mayer, we know the quality of Alvarez. We know what he can do behind the wheel of a Formula Virtual car. So it is. I know that they have been rather close, but it is quite the metric for Mayer to shape up to there. Ruiz getting a bit out of shape there in the final corner, it looked like.
Is he starting to close up ever so slightly on Simon?
It looks like it, maybe marginally so, by a tenth or two, just applying the pressure there maybe on his teammates, sort of a subtle way of giving the hurry up. I'm sure he'll be on the radio to Lafayette and to Rob to get Simon either shifting a bit faster or out the way.
He's definitely closed up that, because Simon had opened that gap up to a second already at the end of the opening lap. So, but I think crucially for the top three here, they're already some 3.5 seconds clear of Zatici in 4th place. So those the hard tyres really not got the pace these early stages.
No, not the pace, but they are quick enough to stay ahead. So ultimately,
yes, that's true. I think that I should imagine the issue for Kanga and Vasquez here is that they've got. Kanga's on the mediums, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Kanga's trying to pass Taylor, same car, but he's only got a tyre that's 1 step softer. And then while Vasquez would probably comfortably go past Taylor, he's got Kanga directly in front of him, who again the cars look fairly evenly on pace. And again, he's only got a tyre that's 1 step softer, which we've seen before isn't the easiest to make the move on unless they're fresh.
Yeah, it's also compromising Kidd's race as well. 8th moment, he's on the softs. Only North Star in the race, but well, hopefully it goes better today.
I think that's something that needs discussing as well, isn't it? It's the second time now in 4 races that Johan Halvorsen, who previously been lauded as an absolute star in Formula Virtual, has failed to qualify, and in the meantime, his teammates in the top 10.
Yeah, it's pretty damning for Halvorsen. Obviously, he came into this season, I believe, and having never not qualified for a race, and he's had his fair share of pre-qualifying, or as it used to be called, Q1 battles. He's no stranger to them, but obviously, again, if I am wrong on that stat, then do correct me. But it's just sort of a bit of a shocking downturn in form, really. It may be due to a lack of motivation from sort of looking like he might have been nailed down to the back of the grid. But then if you look at the performance of the car that Kid can drag out, then you think, well, what's going on?
I do wonder if it's similar to something that we've seen a few times, and I wonder if this might be the same thing that's impacting Zientech actually at Highwind. We saw this with, I think most notably, Marcus Thunder back at Lucas a couple of years ago, where in the very, very short Q1 session, let's not forget, it is only about, I think it's about a 10-minute session, some drivers just don't, it's not enough time for them to put in a lap. I think, there are certain drivers who just don't have that level of consistency to deliver a lap in such a short time span. But I think they can be in these Q1 sessions and be caught out somewhat almost. But then once you get them into an actual qualifying session, they show what they can do. I mean, as I say, Thunder, for example, a few years back, Q1 sessions, he was useless and failed to qualify most of them. Once the team were in a position where they were making the actual qualifying session, he was right up there. And I think we've seen that with Halverson as well. He's, these couple of Q1 sessions, he's not failed to qualify, but when he has been right up with Kid. And I wonder if that same thing is affecting Zientech.
Well, he'll hope so.
yeah, definitely, and Zazolia as well, I suppose. I mean, we've seen similar from Zazolia. When this is only his second race appearance, him and Halverson at 2 each now. But then when he's actually made the full qualifying session, he seems to be sort of there with Finn Schneider.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's no secret, obviously, in the longer session, the drivers can definitely find more of a groove. I mean, just look at how much the lap times tend to increase from pre-qualifying and qualifying. Only some of that can be down to track evolution. A large part of that has to be the fact that you are able to dial in, you are able to sort of find those spots, and you've got more time. You can afford to make mistakes. We talk about stuff like banker laps when it comes to qualifying. You really cannot, your risk has to be well measured if you choose to take one in a much shorter session. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a level of ability that not every driver has, up and down the grid, to be honest, I would say, in terms of being able to just sort of turn the tap on at will, sort of thing, in terms of pace.
Don't turn the tap on, Will. That's a bit harsh.
I'll turn the
I'm
hose
enjoying
on,
myself.
Yeah, well, we have oh, you're not a newbie. I can't turn the hose on you, so you've escaped today.
We were just seeing on screen a second ago. We've got Stefan Klein there leading quite a train of cars. Then the Austrian in 13th at the moment, some 4.5 seconds behind Takakashi. But let's not forget Klein is on the hard tyres. But actually, that's I think a really impressive performance from Stefan Klein. He's let's be fair, he's probably struggled to find his feet in the first few races that we've had so far this season, in his foray into his Formula Virtual career. But actually, well outpaced Felix Perez yesterday in qualifying, and I think probably put that car higher than it's really looked like being so far this season. So a great effort from Klein so far.
Yes, I wonder how the hard tyre strategy will work for him, because obviously he has everyone behind him. So he's got the car's feeling not that quick on the hards, but it's quick enough to keep him there for the time being. But hopefully he can maintain this for the whole race for him.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There is very much that, isn't it? It's all well and good holding these cars back, but if they're going to have ridiculous pace when they've pitted and he isn't, and they can fly past him, it's really not going to work.
I'll tell you, speaking of not going to work, we're obviously riding on board with the race winner from last time out. I'd love to say that it looks like he's got the grip and he's got the pace advantage, but honestly, it actually looks to me from the onboard shot there that Vasquez is almost having to work just to stay with these guys. He's not looking like he's looking for an opening, do you know?
It looks very stationary, doesn't he? And even though he's driving at hundreds of miles an hour, he looks very stationary there in 7th. Not really threatening to go forward, and neither's Kid behind him.
I will say that I think the grip looks all right there from Vasquez, because I think you just need to look at Skid, for example, I don't think that North Star is on the pace of the Phoenix or the Ingrams, but he is still sticking with Vasquez. So I think the pace is in the soft tyre. They've just not got the pace advantage over Kanga to be able to do anything with it.
Yeah, I think that probably is like a better way of putting it. It doesn't look slow. It just looks, you know, you would expect. I know, obviously, you touched on this earlier, and we had the same case in Adelaide, where you do really need almost like an extreme tyre and grip differential to make that overtake. But it's starting to look like his race is slowly coming undone there. Obviously, it's early doors, but every lap he spends behind these guys is lap wasted, really.
Having said that, passing here actually might just be incredibly difficult. Looking further down the field, Max Mayer in... Oh?
Sorry, I just thought I saw a little moment happening from there, from Van Snelheiden. He has lost a tenth or two there, getting there, just lighting up the rears in the final sector.
Yeah, no,
yeah, sorry, carry on.
That's alright, no, that's alright. It was just Max Mayer down in 21st. In the Lopez, which, let's be fair, has looked towards the back of the grid so far this season, is on the hard tyres. Nathaniel Powers behind him, in a Lucas that's looked, you know, probably amongst the top 3 teams so far this season, is on the softs. That's soft against hards, and he hasn't been able to get through.
True.
In a much quicker
yeah.
car as well.
Yeah,
We'll
it's a bit of a...
Oh, we'll have to see what it's like once they get fresh soft against worn hards. Hopefully that can enliven overtaking. But
Yes, yeah, hopefully that'll open things up a little bit. We have seen one overtake though. I've just noticed Hoskins has gone past Barclay, to the delight of one of us in the commentary box.
Thanks, Brad. And yeah, it does look like, to be fair, Zatici's really comfortably running his own race there, and he's not losing too much time, so he looks on for a really good result today if he can keep this kind of pace up. So,
Screw yourself.
Hopefully the engine doesn't go bang or anything like that, like last time out.
I don't think it's not as warm here as it was in Malaysia.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, actually, to be fair, it's not all that ridiculous, because here it's actually, we're here in the middle of winter at the moment, so, according to their climate, because obviously we're on the other side of the equator.
This is true. I just automatically, my brain just goes, South Africa, hot.
Wow. I don't engage in colonialist stereotypes such as that, so, you know, I can't really relate, but yeah, sure. Please like me.
Not even dignifying.
I mean,
response.
Taylor's only lost 2 seconds after 13 laps on the same tyres as the Downton.
That is a fair
The Phoenix clearly has. There's something about that Phoenix.
It's stolen.
The best one they've built by a long way.
That's
you
just,
did
it's
mention
stolen.
that before the race, didn't you there, Bradley?
Yep.
You think they've stolen someone
Yep.
else's car?
100%. Well, I mean, come on, the team are based in Manchester.
Hey, I'm based near Manchester. Take it actually.
I mean, you're only 7 to prove my point.
Listen up, Buttercup. Okay.
Alex will set his B's on you.
True. Yeah. You wouldn't want that, would you?
But it's Phoenix. They're probably dead.
I don't think I got that joke.
Well, Phoenix have no money, so they wouldn't be able to keep the bees alive.
I thought keeping bees could be cheap. They pay for themselves with the honey. And
Yeah, it probably is cheap, but Phoenix have so little money.
JT probably eats all the honey as well.
Yes, exactly.
Constantly, like, he's Winnie the Pooh. He doesn't even use a spoon, just hand in the jar. Scoop, shoveling it into his own mouth.
I bet JT puts honey in his tea.
Okay, first of all, honey and tea.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying it's going to use it up.
If that's slander, I will have your
No.
guts.
Not at all, not at all. I've never tried. I really want to try that now.
Do it right now.
Maybe not now. I'll try after the
where you've
race.
got a bit of a funky throat. It might do you a little good.
That's
Nothing
just exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah. For me, I have a very specific tea that I like. I like the I think it's Yorkshire tea bedtime brew. So it's like decaffeinated. It's got like a little bit of nutmeg in it, a little bit of lemon balm, whatever it's called. A little bit of vanilla in there, only a real tiny amount, and then you sort of stick some honey in with that. Oh, Dreamy, absolutely dreamy.
I'll check the motorhome after the race, see if we have any honey, and if not, I'll go and nick some from Phoenix.
Yeah, go and sort of like rip it from JT's cold dead hands. That's the only way he's giving it up.
Absolutely.
My man loves his honey.
As we go on board with, well, we were on board with Timo Kinnaman. Felix Perez there, a little bit wide out of turn 1, but nothing doing. It's very static at the moment. It very much has that feeling of we're just waiting for the first cars to dive into the pits, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems a little bit of a game of chicken going on here of who's going to blink first.
How long is a pit stop here?
Good question.
Looking at the gap, whether or not the leaders will probably come out ahead of clean now, I'd imagine. Especially with the gaps to the teacher as well.
Come on, Will, don't ask us questions we should probably know the answer to.
Yeah, we don't actually know what we're doing. We just pretend and everybody's been buying it for the last, like, 8 years.
Yeah, it's 12 months since we've been here. You know,
yeah.
I should have asked remember how long the pit stop is.
That's the one, my guy.
There we go.
He's picking up on these little breadcrumbs we're dropping.
Exactly.
But to be fair, I would expect it to be a slightly shorter than average pit stop here. You are cutting out the final turn. So I would probably expect a pit delta of around 20 seconds, but then we'll have to wait and see. And the pit exit is so long, and you have to stay inside that white line. Although we may not see drivers do so. It depends on
how they feel.
We've seen him. Yeah, pretty much. We've seen him France before, where they've sort of just plopped out willy-nilly.
Absolutely, and crucially to note,
not Manicore, but
I was just say crucially to note as well, if we go a lap longer in this race and no one pits, then we'll be straight into two-stop territory.
I think that's sort of to be expected these days, isn't it? It's
well, yeah,
a
but you never know.
two-stop, a one-stop, and a no-stop, isn't it?
You never know; it could have shaken things up.
It may well do. I would, if anything, I would expect the pit stops to shake some things up here. So these three still racing ahead in front. Then Van Schnellheid just sort of looked like he was losing touch a little bit there, but he's sort of coming back at Ruiz in this sector now. Ruiz again, still piling on the pressure for Simon, who is, well, doesn't look like he's going to be rooted from top spot anytime soon at this rate. I don't know why I've said that. Sorry, Rob, if something happens. But yeah, looking very confident out of France so far.
Oh well, Simon isn't winning this one. I suppose crucially for these top three, then I suppose what they'll be trying to desperately do will be to build a gap in their first stint. That means they can come out ahead of Will Taylor, I'd expect.
Yeah, I think so. It does look like a big ask, I'll say. Like in the last,
because Taylor ain't slow.
Laps, Taylor's only about 10 to 13 seconds back from the leader here. Like I think that's about right.
Who's the next car behind Taylor on the hard tyres? Because obviously that will be.
Looks like it'll be.
I was going to be Takahashi down in 12. Yeah, but they're safe from that.
5 seconds off of the Ocelots there.
Yeah.
It looks like those hard tyres, we mentioned earlier that they were struggling to switch on, and we saw a few drivers really struggling with them, especially at the low speed, but it seems like the pace is coming back to them a bit here. They've gone through that early warm-up phase of trying to heat cycle the tyres, and that pace is really being unlocked in them now. They're looking not the fastest tyre, don't get me wrong, but they are looking better. As we follow along with Kanga there, following his teammate through the twisty technical sections of this circuit. He's just, again, as we mentioned before, not really looked like making a move, but he's also not really looked too uncomfortable with the soft-tired runners behind him of the likes of Vasquez, Kidd, Matson, bearing down on him. All three extremely good race drivers in their own right, so Kanga here doing well to sort of keep his eye on the prize, keeping his head looking forward, and stay focused on running his race.
Yeah, Kanga's not a bad driver either, though, is he?
Oh, absolutely not. No slouch. The obviously race winner, to everybody's surprise, in 2020 in Japan. Multiple podium scorer. He's a solid driver, and it's nice to see him in a car once again befitting of that.
I wonder what his future holds.
I'm
Yeah,
intrigued.
he does. He strikes me as very much a type that he's always going to miss out on like a very top drive by a whisker. You know, like he seems almost like a wrong place, wrong time kind of driver. He moved away from Matheshaw, I believe. Just
I don't think
know,
that was through choice. To
Yeah,
be fair.
Yeah,
I
I was
think
trying
Enrico
to
Ruiz
word.
has something to do with that.
Was trying to word that diplomatically, but
He was
very
very firmly elbowed aside.
shafted. And since then, he's just been, you know, it's not a case of proving himself anymore. He's proven himself. It's just a case of when that's going to line up. Because at the end of the day, as sad as it is, sometimes, little squirm under braking there from Kid. That's got him out of shape on the exit. Let's see if Matson can say something about this down in turn 1 or turn 2, because this is technically turn 1.
Way too far back. Interestingly, we're on to lap 20 now as well. We're only 5 laps away from one-stop territory.
Now we're playing with something dangerous. Imagine if the softs can pull off a one-stop here. Suddenly the mediums are absolutely going to be the worst strategy to be on, because they definitely won't make the end, but the hards will. So interesting stuff.
Oh, there's movement. Thunstrom.
Hey,
and
Cars all over the place.
Yeah, that's really pushed Alvarez out, and that's Mayer as well now attacking his teammate. As that's Farini on the grass, I think, further back. As yeah, it would be great to get a replay of that. That's Barkley looking up the inside, but nothing doing. As we briefly saw a shot of Zylander there, trundling round, all on his top.
He's caught the pack by 3 seconds since his stop, Bradley. I'll have you know.
He's on fresh tyres, I'd hope so.
Well, by one lap.
Here we go. Pit stops.
Two
They
stopper.
come then. That's Kid. That's Vasquez. So yes, absolutely right. 2 stops to be had for the soft tire runners. They couldn't make those tyres go any longer, and that's a little bit of breathing room for Kanga there for the time being.
Are they going to come out ahead of Clean in some clear air? That will be fantastic for them if
Kid
they
has
do.
jumped.
Hold on, that's good spot. That's a fantastic stop there from the North Star boys.
Oh, and it's going to be vital for him. He's going to
Yes,
beat it,
look
but
at
Vasquez
that.
is going to end up in it.
Oh, that's brutal for Vasquez. A far cry from last race where he seemed to have the pick of the litter when it came to pit strategy. He's got it all to do with the traffic here now.
Well, that's brought Ingram back down to earth.
Oh,
I knew that was going to get worked into the race, you slime.
I've
You
been waiting
aggressive.
for that, sorry.
Utter
I wanted to
buffoon.
say, I wanted to own it. Oh, well.
I will say, I wonder if Matson might now overcut his teammate here, because he was only a few tenths back, really. So, and look at that, Vasquez is being bolted so much, he's locking up, trying to look for a way past. Obviously, those cold tyres aren't going to lend him their most grip, and he has to bring them in slowly, or else they're just not going to last the distance.
To be fair, I think Matson's on the mediums.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he is. He is on the mediums.
Alright, I thought he was on the softs. Oh, as we've got Perez diving into the pits there, so a 1 lap later pit stop there for the first boys.
Look at that, kid's taken 2 seconds out of Takahashi on that 1 lap alone.
Look at him go, man. That's...
Oh.
He's already got about 4 seconds.
That's
back to
Vasquez.
That's a lovely move.
Vasquez and Addison,
the inside.
beautiful.
But he's already 4 seconds behind Kid at 1 lap.
There's an echo in here.
And still 1 car to go.
Yes, exactly. He's going to be stuck there for some time. That's frustrating for Vasquez. I'll say that. I'm sure Will would be able to put it more passionately than I would.
Too
Christ,
passionately for this commentary, I think.
look at that undercut. Look at the back of the field. Powers, as Vasquez dives down the inside of Stefan Clean, he isn't hanging about.
Whoa,
And Vasquez
what a move.
straight back up into P11. He is just over 5 seconds behind Kid now then, but he's not going to lose any more, you wouldn't expect. But I was just going to say, look at the back of the pack. Powers, undercut, Felix Perez.
Oh, wow.
There was a
The
massive
undercut
gap
is
between
huge
them.
here. Yeah, I'll say Perez was a good 10 places in front of him. Or I say 10. I'm more like 7 or 8. Hunter Ryan, did he stop yet? He did, but Giordano didn't, but that's probably because he's not on softs.
Kid fastest lap.
That's the
There we
softs in
go.
clear air.
Beautiful work, and he's now only 6.5 seconds back from Takahashi here. I can't imagine this would be much of a contest so much as a spanking when Kid rocks up. It'll be sort of similar to 1945 there for Takahashi.
Wow.
Ouch. I kind of don't want to say it. I feel like Kid's putting himself in a great position here for a decent result. But, well, I mean, to be fair, we can't really tax North Star with any more bad luck, can we? I mean, the misfortune they've had so far this season has been unbelievable.
Yeah, obviously, you know, the only thing I would say on that is that Ford power unit, I really hope that whatever has been going on with it, they are able to sort of, they either have got it sorted or are getting it sorted soon, because, you know, it's never nice to see a driver's car conk out on them, but when that car, like, goes up in flames, up the inside from Hudson Ryan, just not quite, gets the door slammed in his face, and you think that might just hamper him into turn 1 here.
Fastest lap for Hammers. Here he goes.
There he goes, he's chasing him down. Not by much though, only by a few tenths. So that the pace that Kid has in that car is genuine. As Perez smacks in the fastest lap now.
Well, I was happy for about 10 seconds.
You still held a fastest lap for a moment there, you know. Will, that's always something to hang on to. But back to what I was saying, if somebody could remind me, because I've forgotten.
That's an overtake.
That was a case of, you've opened the door, thank you very much, I'll walk right on through. But yeah, so whatever my point was, gone now, but if you remember what it is, then do let me know.
It was very insightful.
I try my best. So let's see here. So we are now into the one-stop territory. We have crossed the line for the 25th lap. So I'd be expecting the pit window to be open between now and lap 30. So if we didn't check on the pit deltas, did we?
Oh, bugger.
Yeah, should have done that.
I remember seeing some stops of about 3.3 seconds.
That's
probably not
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. We all concur, and that is good to know. Based on where Kid came out, I think Takahashi was... The gaps in the top 9 haven't really changed that much.
Yeah, and Kid was about 10 seconds back, wasn't he, when he came out the pits?
Yeah, so I'd say we are probably looking at, based on... Because Kid had about, I think, a 7-second gap to Takahashi when he emerged, so we are probably looking at maybe just over 20 seconds. I'm doing some really bad maths in my head at the moment. So, there's Zylander gearing up to be lapped by Seymour. Obviously, that's not how the Belgian was hoping his race would have been going after some pretty heroic performances, which I think is probably worth a quick bit of chat. Really, is that just how impressive. I know we were saying about it before the race, but how impressive has Zylander been? Not just this season, but also last season as well. He's in the last couple of years, he's really seemed to have matured as a race driver.
Yes, I think he was very unlucky, wasn't he, the first couple of years at Phoenix. But it all came together last year, and he was a lot better, I thought, than Alvarez last year. And he's obviously been brilliant so far in that high wind, getting it places it shouldn't really be. So I think hopefully there's a bright future for him somewhere.
Zylander's been outstanding. I just want to mention though, before we carry that on, look at the gap between Klaas van Snelheid and Matteo Zatici. These guys are stuck behind Zylander now. He's no longer obligated to move out of the way, and they're on similar tyres. We've seen how difficult overtaking here is, regardless of how much quicker your car is. Think of Powers on Mayer. Zylander could have a huge impact on the outcome of this race if these guys on mediums don't pit soon.
That's a really good point there, actually, Bradley. Yeah, obviously doing away with the blue flags for this season, and it doesn't look like these Mafishaws are going to be breezing past us. Look, yeah, the top three have absolutely closed up, and they've already leaked a second to Zatichi, so crucial moments in this race there, as you said.
Yeah,
And in fact,
Zatichi and
look at
Taylor
that,
will be seeing this and rubbing their hands with glee at this moment in time.
Definitely. I was just going to say that, you know,
Oh,
Zatichi...
hang on. No, I think that's Ruiz. Ruiz was down the inside. Simon, sorry. Simon's leading, isn't he? Simon was down the inside there,
Yeah.
but Zylander's held on to it.
Starting to get a little
Yeah, I
impatient.
suppose... Yeah, definitely. Sort of, he knows that move needs to be done as they're losing more and more time. Ruiz is right up his chuff now then. As here we go. Simon's resisted the pressure from about 5 to 7 tenths back. How is he going to resist the pressure from 2?
11.5 now, the gap between third and fourth.
It's coming down. It is coming down rapidly at that as well. And at the end of the day, as you say, Zylander, as you said, has no reason to get out of the way. And to be honest, even for his own strategy, has no reason to get out of the way. Because, well, he's last. He will finish last, barring exceptional circumstances.
And to make matters
So,
worse, he's on the hard tyre.
Yeah, so, well, there we go. It did look like a bit of a nailed exit there as we watch Zatichi going through that final sector now into the last corner. Nice and tidy. He knows that this is his chance to claw back some time, so he's just picking up the pace a little bit. They lost another 2 seconds that lap. Unbelievable. And now Ruiz is looking for a way through. He's saying, I don't want to be stuck here anymore. You have to find a way past.
Yeah, they're squabbling amongst themselves now. This is exactly what they need to not do.
Oh, the kid and Vazquez have now caught up to the back of Takahashi, so that'll be interesting to see if they can...
Oh,
there it is. Thank you.
Your wish is is the cameraman's command there. Man, Will, you got to teach us how to do that because, you know, we've been doing this for a few years. We still haven't figured out how to do that.
I say he's only been here 5 minutes. He's already commanded the respect of the race director, TV director even.
Calling the shots. I'm going to be out of a job by the end of the season, all because I keep saying funny foreign hellos.
I mean, to be fair, I think we're all surprised you've held on to it for this long.
Yeah, me more than anyone else, really. I actively try to lose my job, and people love it. There's a few off-com complaints, but you know, it's the same as anyone that speaks the truth. You know, like Jesus, for example.
Oh God!
He had lots of off-com complaints. Didn't he, Jesus?
Is that first for me, comparing myself to the Messiah?
Probably not. Meanwhile, yeah, there we go. I mentioned a second ago. We see Kid and Vazquez right up with Takahashi. Be interesting to see how quickly they can dispatch the Japanese driver. He's obviously in a much quicker car than the other rivals they've come up against, and looks to be putting up a slightly sterner fight at the moment. As Kid's a little bit wide there, and is that going to give Vazquez a sniff? I'm not sure he's going to make much of it. The gap between third and fourth then, 9.5 seconds now. Zatichi is closing in, and Taylor. Will Taylor's pretty much going with them.
Yeah, and Kanga with that as well. So pretty much the only people losing out right now are the top 3 when it comes to this traffic issue. Obviously, to be expected. We see some pit stops.
That's going to cost Simon. Surely that's going to cost Simon. Ruiz and Van Schnellheid in. And let's take a look at how these stops are then from Mathishaw and Downton respectively. Looked pretty quick for Mathishaw. 3.7 in the box though. Not the most rapid of stops, but he is going to keep position ahead of Klaas Van Schnellheid.
It's a little bit tighter now, but yeah, absolutely. As they come out of the pits here, it looks like they should have a fair bit. Yeah, they've got a lovely bit of clear air.
Simon's
screwed.
screwed.
It, but, you know, and it's odd because, you know, the driver and the lead driver for the team always gets pit priority. So why would you not select? Why would you not utilize that? That's it's very strange to me. It's also uncurrent. Look at that gap that Ruiz opened up on the pit exit there. That's huge. Look, Simon's still stuck, man.
That's crazy. He's going to lose so much time here.
Yeah, you look, he keeps on closing in, but there's just nowhere for him to pass. You know, you go offline here, you can see like that rubbered-in racing line really forming here. Even I say early in the race, as here we go into the pits, go Seymour. You've got to think the damage is done. Zatici only 8 seconds off Seymour at the time of the pit stop. That's... Here we go then, as around comes the Italian rookie to take the lead of the race. Where are the rest? Is Kanga also pits? Is Matson staying out? I thought Matson was on the medium, so Matson goes an extra lap there. We'll run a lap in third for this V-Prix.
Giordano as well, to be fair, stayed out.
Yeah. Seymour hasn't lost as much time. Oh yeah, he definitely has. He's lost at least a good 2-3 seconds there.
Yeah, Klaas actually lost a lot of time on the outlap there. Bearing in mind he came into the pits literally under Ruiz's rear wing.
Yeah, let's see how far back Seymour is now then. We can actually finally get an accurate pit delta. 8.5. That can't be right, because that is a lot shorter than I thought. Yeah, so actually, yeah, that looks to be about 19 to 21 seconds-ish.
So
up the inside.
Yeah, that's Ruiz then going past Giordano very forcefully. And, oh, we've got a yellow.
That is Thunstrom. No, Schneider?
Someone.
Schneider.
Oh, there's a car in the gravel,
it's
yeah.
Schneider. That's not how you're supposed to go through there.
That little battle pack have been together all race.
Oh, there goes Perez up the inside. He didn't need a second invitation. Desolia opened the door. Perez walked through it. I think we've already used that one. Oh, Desolia fighting back though. Not really anything doing for him in the end, but we love to see that kind of spirited defense.
Yeah, because we've got Giordano and Matson in the pits now then, so they only managed 1 lap more.
Yeah, so pretty much to be expected there. And they feed out towards the sort of lower end of the points. Ryan's sort of fallen off his teammate a bit more in this sort of stage of the race, isn't he? Here we go. Again! Oh, and that's contact with Kinnaman as well, who had nowhere to go really for the second race in a row. No, wait, that was Adelaide.
His teammate as well.
Oh, yeah. And then, you know, it's just for good measure, isn't it? As that is a long stop for Kinnaman. Yep. Oh no, he might have just been held actually there. And one Westwood moves out of last place, another fills his slot.
In fairness, Zylander's in last, so...
Oh,
yeah, I wasn't...
No, he's not!
Oh, he's not!
Hey! There we go, Thunstrom, who is, you know, he'll be definitely longing for the results of a few weeks ago. Interestingly, these guys still stuck behind Takahashi, putting on an absolutely stalwart defense here. Can't break him
wow!
down. Ruiz puts in the fastest lap.
I was going to say, that pace from... I looked at that gap a second ago, he was 9 seconds behind Zatici, it's now only 7. I thought for a moment that actually, you know, Zatici and Taylor may be on for some brilliant results here, but I think Ruiz, Van Schnauwald and Simon are going to come at these guys like, well, I don't know what.
Yeah, obviously, it could possibly be a case of those hard-side runners have known that these guys are going to come back at them, and they've just been holding off a little bit, trying to save some grip. Maybe also would explain why they struggled a bit for pace early on, really bringing those tyres in gradually, because they know that it's just going to be about having the tyres to defend, nothing else really. That is going to be the story of their race.
Yeah, it very much will be, but I sense they might not be able to do an awful lot of defending. Although, having said that, Takahashi doing a stellar job there against Kid and Vasquez, although they are on now rather aging soft tyres compared to the fresh mediums that Ruiz, Klaas and Simon will be on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing as well. You've got to think, while Takahashi does have to go the full distance, you know, Kid and Vasquez had to make it past him and make a gap. They're going to have to make up a whole pit stop again in 10 laps and pass. I just can't see that. It doesn't seem feasible to me, Bradley, especially with traffic.
No, I think you're right. I think it's quite an ask now.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we'll only know when the fat lady sings, but my mother has not entered the commentary box yet. So we are on lap 35, and it looks like Ruiz has already caught up to Taylor. That's he's had an absolutely incredible turn of pace in these fresh tyres. Switched them on immediately and just hasn't looked back. There we go. He gets it.
Stage though. Can he actually use the pace to get past?
Here we go. Let's
if he
find
can't,
out.
then that's Latifi Taylor 1-2. But
Yeah, definitely.
outside line.
Ooh, it's tantalisingly close. Gotta say, it's a nice defence there from Taylor. He knows that this is going to be for position.
Taylor might be a rookie in Formula Virtual, but he's got a lot of race experience. Obviously, he hasn't raced the caliber of drivers that he's against at the moment. The likes of, multiple champion Ruiz, Klaas van Snelheid, world champion Adrian Simon. But he's got a smart head about him. He sends a racing head, Will Taylor. So he's not going to roll over here.
Definitely. I think, even in the limited time that I spent working with Will Taylor, obviously I can't remember. Oh, here we go. Nice run here, maybe for Ruiz. He's had to get out of it, though. There's just nowhere to go. Grip isn't there offline for him. As there you go. You see him venture offline, and immediately the car tries to step out. So, again. So, he's got to try and find that way past turn one. But Taylor has that inside line covered. But, yeah, back on his smarts there. We worked with him in Indy Virtual back in, I think, 2017 under the guise of Rodeo Racing. And, up the inside, here we go. He's holding it around the outside, is Taylor. I don't know if he's going to have look at the traction off the corner, but it's just not enough. Now that opens him up to attack from the other two behind.
Yeah, a brilliant move there from Ruiz, and crucial too, especially if he can keep Taylor between himself and the duo with him. Although that's Simon up the inside of Klaas van Snelheid.
He's showing his nose there. He's letting Klaas know he's there. He knows that now he has to help his teammate by keeping the pressure on the Dutchman and making sure that he doesn't have that comfortable ability to just push. He knows that he has to try and make life hard for Klaas. As look at that, Klaas gets to it sideways there under that said pressure.
Yeah, meanwhile Ruiz knows that this is his chance. He has to break away and make the most of this.
Absolutely, already over a second clear of these guys. Anyway, finally finished my point about Will Taylor before he gets overtaken to turn one. We worked with him, as I say, in the Indy Virtual Series. Cracking guy, great to have around. He really energizes the engineers as well. He gets on great with them. He's just a real asset to have in the team. So it's no surprise to me that he's doing well in Formula Virtual, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. It's gone away now.
I think it's Vasquez.
No, it's Vasquez.
You used your line too early, Bradley.
I'll let you take this one.
My feet are firmly back on the ground. Yes.
That's a huge shame.
Sort of lead weights in your shoes as well, I'd imagine there, Will.
Ooh, it's a big one.
That's a heavy impact as well, for the Colombian. I think he was so close to the back of Brock Kidd there. He just sort of then lost downforce and it put him wide, caught the curve and turned him round, and he was a passenger from that moment.
Yeah, I think he was probably getting a little tired of being stuck. Tried to take different lines to just do something different, but didn't work.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Will. If you look at sort of a replay of that and you see he was actually offline, he was coming in at way too shallow an angle for that particular corner, and that's always going to spit you out on that big old curb on the exit, which is just a recipe for disaster. A shame for the Colombian, as he, as you say, did drive very well last race and hasn't really put a foot wrong this race. It's so much as he just ended up put out in traffic, and that put a stopper on his race from there.
And dare I say, that's a championship contender out of the race.
Well, he is second.
Like the champion-elect out of the race there. I had my money on him. Now I'm going to lose out on 50 G's, This is unacceptable.
I didn't advise that bet.
I have texts, Will. I'll leave it there.
I feel like we've got Will in the commentary box for the wrong race at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I sort of thought this might happen. It was too good last time, so...
You still have a car in the points there, Will. That's compared to over half of the field. That's still very good going.
I'm going to be honest, I'd forgot Matson existed.
Oh man, don't do that.
Oh, come on, Vasquez has annihilated it.
He's doing a job.
Well, I suppose there's one man whose opinion is the most important on this, but I might hold off on that because look who is once again playing his part in the battle for the lead. Ruiz has caught up to Zatici now, so that might be why the Italian was losing so much time. But also, look, Van Schnellheid and Simon cannot get past Taylor, so if Ruiz can make this move now, or alternatively Zatici can make this move now, it's going to be crucial. We've only got 10 laps left. That's only really about 10 or 15 minutes worth of running. You know, it's really coming up on him fast, the finish of the race here.
I missed that Zylander was back in the lead of this race.
He is, you know. Ahmed's he's going to be. I know we've got the screenshot from Malaysia, but he's going to grab this screenshot of the high wind leading the Downton and the Porsche Mattershore.
What an image that is.
I would absolutely do the same, and I think all of us would give him the chance. Although Brad doesn't need to; he just gets pictures of his car winning the race. But
well, you know, I just have to say,
although,
I was slightly sceptical about the removal of blue flags, but I think Adelaide and here has proven it was an inspired decision. It's been brilliant.
It's actually been safer as well, hasn't it? Instead of them trying to just get out of the way and failing massively and taking them out, they've just stuck the racing line, said, you've got to overtake me.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's given us some fantastic races as we've got Kidd into the pits then for his second and final stop on the soft tyres, so I should imagine his fellow soft tyre runners will follow him in.
Yeah, as we've got Ryan in the pits behind him there. It's a long stop for Kidd though, 4.8 seconds.
Yeah, do you know what? I reckon he might make this out ahead of Clean though and still be in 10th position.
It's looking good for it. But touching on that point that you mentioned there, Will, it's very similar to what we'll see in sort of endurance racing, where it's much better for a lap car or especially a lower class car to just hold their line. If you just keep yourself predictable and just do what you're going to do, there's no scrambling out of the way, there's no jumping off the line onto the marbles of the dust. You know, it's a much more predictable way to have a car go past another car. So in that respect, yeah, it definitely is beneficial. And yeah, we're seeing the effects of it. We're also seeing the negative effects of those who don't have confidence to get round the back markers. So it's all really sort of shaping up for better, cleaner, smarter racing.
Ruiz needs to get on with this. Look who's coming. Taylor and co are approaching them rapidly.
Taylor for the race win after they get their first podium? Question mark?
I mean, he's going to have to overtake. He's going to have to overtake Ruiz, who's in a quicker car on a faster tyre and a fresher tyre. I think that's unlikely, but well, never say never.
There's Kanga defending.
No, that's Kanga past Takahashi. Kanga past Takahashi, and that's Matson on the Japanese driver as well. Then.
Yeah, so finally running out of tyres. It looks like they're going side by side. Oh, that's always sketchy going wheel to wheel in there. And that's Ryan there looking for no, that's Giordano looking for a bit of an opportunistic move. As he got the traction he should do. Fresher, softer tyres. He's got the inside line. No, Takahashi goes away. No, Giordano. Oh, what a good scrap that was. Not for Takahashi, but he did defend well for a long way this race. And he's still looking on for it. You'd think he's got 15 seconds of a buffer back to Kidd. That's impressive.
I think
he's done an almighty job this race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that goes to show what can happen when you do finally get muscled out when you're in front of a train of cars. That's Simon down the inside of Klaus Van Schneider again at turn 2 then, but again I don't think he's quite going to manage it. But yeah, Takahashi there, you say, he defended brilliantly, but Kanga just got through and muscled him out, and then it put him offline, and Matson and Giordano were able to make their way past as well in fairly quick succession.
So it'll be interesting to watch Kidd on fresh soft versus Takahashi on very old hard. I know it's a big gap, but you'd think he could reel him in possibly.
I mean, to be fair, he was taking 2 seconds a lap out of him first time round, and Takahashi's hard tyres are even older now. Yeah, keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, especially where now that obviously Takahashi has had that sort of a venture offline, he has had to defend his position. You know, I would expect those sides. He's now got to try and scrub off all that dirt and muck that he's picked up. His power sets the fastest lap of the race. Doesn't seem to be doing him a lot of good, though, down in 21st. But, you know, that's the thing as well. When you go offline, you don't just lose that grip initially. You have to clear that off your tyres. You lose tyre temperature. It's a compounding effect there. Oh, here we go. Up the inside, Ruiz then going for the lead on Zatici. Has he got this done under traction? He has.
Yes.
Oh, spectacular. And then Klaas is going up the inside of Taylor. He sees that he needs to get this move done, and he's trying to make his way past the customer team. It's Downton versus Phoenix. Sweeps around the outside, and Simon follows him through. Oh, that was a big lock up there for Taylor. They're going into there. Oh, he's fighting him back, though, all the way. Taylor with that stiff upper lip, but he keeps the place. Oh, top marks there to Will Taylor, hanging on to 4th place in front of Adrias Seymour, former world champion.
That was brilliant. Yeah, we saw earlier how Takahashi just dropped all the positions, but Taylor hung on to 1. So
yeah,
I did say he wasn't going to roll over.
Yeah, 1 is better than none at the end of the day, and that's just more evidence of that smart head he's got on his shoulders there. He's just not quite over-committing to that defence, making sure, because at the end of the day, no point over-committing to a place you're going to lose when you can save yourself from losing another. So very smart thinking there from Taylor, who I've got to say, I believe they're on different strategies again, but once again, we're looking at Taylor, and with the exception of last race, he looks like he has the beating of Kanga, who everybody in the paddock rates extremely highly.
Yeah, Taylor really making a name for himself, isn't he? Early doors in his career here. Just an interesting note. Ruiz got past Zatici. Still, none of them have been able to pass Zylander.
Zylander's the GOAT. That's why. You know, he cannot be passed. He cannot be outpaced. He's just built different. Deadly. That's the thing, really.
I think it's brilliant.
You'd imagine there's going to be some team orders, or if we'd prefer a less unpopular term, strategic options explored for the Downton team there.
Free to race.
Zatici, yes, has done. Oh, free to race. Okay.
Free to race.
Lap 49. The Downtons come together and take each other out.
As I've always said, the guys are free to race until they do something stupid, and then they know what the repercussions will be.
Dom Hansen and JT.
Yeah, we'll raid the Phoenix wardrobe for drivers.
It's got to be done. I've got to say, looking at this, it looks like there might be an ever so teeny tiny pace differential, where Zylander appears to be lapping either at the same pace or in certain sections of the track slightly quicker than Zatici. It seems to be where certain parts where Ruiz can go with him and pull out a small, only of a tenth or two, but Zatici's unable to do so. He closes back up towards the end of the lap.
Zylander is on fresher hard tyres.
By 1 lap.
Still fresher.
But yeah, it's impressive driving from Zylander there, as much as he is in last place. But oh, here we go then. They are, as you say, free to race and race up the inside. Does pass Van Schnellheid. Zatici tries to fight him back, but decides discretion the better part of.
I think it just didn't have the traction on the hards there that the class had on the mediums. We saw it with the overtake that Ruiz pulled as well. The fresher, grippier tyres, they've just got the traction to get out of that corner and complete the move there.
I love saying discretion the better part of Valor, and I just completely got the words wrong. I said discretion the better part. But
just
yeah,
further down,
absolutely.
Takahashi and Kid, the gap's down to 4.8. Kid might do this.
That is a stellar effort from the American.
Both teams will just want them to be sensible here. I know both teams have had issues already this season, so I think they both take whatever any point at this point. Just keep it on the road.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, speaking of keeping it on the road, Seymour and Taylor in front of him have looked a little bit all over the place this last lap. They're definitely struggling for grip there, which is obviously to be expected for Taylor on those race. Oh, here we go. Saying that Seymour up the inside here of the Brit. Can he get the move done? Oh, kicks out the rear on acceleration, but he's got the move done. Fantastic move there from the Frenchman. Moves himself up into 4th, and he's got to be looking for that podium now there.
Yeah, he'll surely be looking to try and prize that out of Zatici's hands. As up front, I think Klaas van Snelheid suddenly had a sniff of this, hasn't he? He's noticed Ruiz has been unable to get past Zylander, and it's suddenly just gone, there's potentially a win here.
Well, do you remember early on in the stint there, Bradley, where we said how impressive it was that Ruiz switched on his tyres quickly and pulled out that gap to Van Snelheid? I just wonder if that's coming back to bite him a bit now. You bring your tyres in too quick, they will go away from you sooner. It's you know, it's well known by the drivers, and I'm surprised that Ruiz, if that is the case, has not engaged in proper sort of tyre management there, but it could come back to hurt him, as Klaas looks like he may have just brought his in a bit smoother.
Absolutely, it's very surprising that as we enter start lap 49 now, so there's only 2 to go here, but it's surprising that we're seeing the likes of, Simon and Van Snelheid on mediums overtake relatively quick cars in comparisons. Ruiz very wide there out of turn 1, and that was potentially a sniff for Klaas, but obviously they are on the same tyre compound, same age, so there's not a massive advantage there in traction. But yeah, we've seen Klaas and Simon overtake Zatici and Taylor in relatively or comparatively quick cars on worn tyres, but Ruiz can't pass Zylander.
Yeah, I don't know what it is that Zylander's doing, but it doesn't seem able to get through the Belgians' defence, which he's not even really driving defensively, he's just keeping to his line and waiting for Ruiz to come around him, and it's just not happening.
Do you reckon they've taken the wing mirrors off that high wind?
Maybe. I mean, they're probably not that used to using them.
they've taken them off and they've gone, Thierry, just drive, just do whatever.
Just gun it, do it. But we come round then to start the final lap of the race. We have a second covering the top 3 here. Yeah, that is the top 3.
Pretty much top 5 nose to tail.
They're covered by a second and a half. Yeah, this is a fantastic end to this race.
As well, half a second between Takahashi and Kidd. Keep an eye on that one as well.
Oh yeah, man, I want to do this race. You've done it too now.
Boom, nailed it.
Honestly.
I texted
Will, are you passing? I knew it. I knew you're passing notes. God damn it. Yellow flag in sector 2. Who's dropping down? Oh, up the inside! Oh, is he going to get it done? He surely has to. Oh, yeah. Go. That's Van Strom. And he's in the wall. I was going to say the gravel, but he kept going. Yeah.
That's a big loss for Thunstrom.
Bad place. Yeah. Lucas really just been nowhere this race. If anything, Franklin have outperformed them in terms of making up places.
I think it's very much been a race where actual car paces has not really amounted to an awful lot. It's been very dictated by grid position and strategy, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
But up front, that hasn't mattered too much. It's Enrique Ruiz who has proved the best. He started 4th. He's going to cross the line in first, though. It's Ruiz who wins in South Africa then to make it 4 different winners from the first 4 races. Van Snelheid, Zatici, Simon and Taylor cross the line in very close order behind him then to complete the top 5. Kanga was only 3 seconds behind them at the flag then. That's how much time they were losing, stuck behind Zylander. It's Matson 7th, Giordano 8th. Brock Kidd takes his first ever points in Formula Virtual and North Star's first of the season in 9th. And Takahashi as well for Arrow's first of the season in 10th. Both teams will be delighted.
Absolutely brilliant. You got to say, well deserved by everyone in the top 10 really. It's hard to look past anyone that doesn't deserve to be there.
And Clean ended up, or will end up, I don't know if he's actually crossed the line. 12th's not pretty decent drive in the end.
Yeah, I think it's still a season best result for the team there. So fantastic stuff from Clean, who, as Brad mentioned earlier, has looked impressive all weekend. So
I'll neglect to mention that Perez scored points in Malaysia then.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, didn't he? Oh, well. Here's the man of the hour, though.
Absolutely, as Ruiz makes his way back to the pits then to start the celebrations and the podium. Here come the drivers out onto the podium then. In third place for the Downton FV team, back on the rostrum after a disappointment of Malaysia, Matteo Zatici. In second place, also for the Downton FV team, and maintaining his 100% record of podium finishes so far this season, Klaas van Snelheid. And onto the top step for the first time this season for both driver and team. For Coca-Cola Porsche team Mattershore, it's Enrique Ruiz. And in his honour, the Brazilian national anthem. So there we have it then, Ruiz and Mattershore finally come good on the pace they've shown all season, flanked on the podium by the two Downtons, Adrian Simon picking up fourth with Will Taylor, a brilliant drive from the Brit, Alar Kanga backing up Phoenix's pace in sixth, then Matson salvaging points for Ingram in seventh, and Kid and Takahashi for North Star and Arrow respectively picking up there and the team's first points of the season in Kid's first points of his career. Absolutely delighted for them both, and they will the garages will be pumping this afternoon, I am sure. Down towards the bottom end we see all those that were stuck behind Clean, the Lucases and the Franklins, who were handed obviously those time penalties at the end of the race as well for the strategy deadlines. In the Drivers' Championship, well, it puts Ruiz up into second, then he is now the closest contender, 24 points back from Klaas van Snelheid. Zatici goes back up into third as James Vazquez slips to fourth, but Adrian Simon gains some ground, as does Matson, and Alar Kanga pulls himself onto the front page as well. Brock Kidd is the biggest mover this time around. He's gone up 8 spots now, up to 15th in the championship with his 2 points. Stefan Klein also with definitely his best weekend so far in Formula Virtual, gaining ground in the championship. Likewise Nick Addison with his first classified finish of the season. And in the Constructors' Championship, it's moved around a little bit as well. Mattershore have gone from 4th to 2nd, while Lucas have gone the other way. Ingram remain in 3rd. Phoenix have closed the gap as well in that fight for 3rd, while Ocelot have slipped slightly further back. North Star pull themselves up into the top 9. Arrow remain 10th, which means Franklin, Westwood, Lopez, AMR and Meteor currently make up the bottom 5. So that's all for my race here today at Kyalami. So from me, Harry and Will, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time for round 5 from Manicourt, France.